Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. If you're going to enjoy it, then leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Now let's get right into the video. I think this was the most appropriate answer for this question.
Interesting, liking superheroes, and a lot of Hollywood is coming out that the representation is very over-sexualized. What do you think about the portrayal in media?
The male superheroes are overly masculinized, and the women are overly feminized, and I think that's just part of like the whole superhero universe.
I really need to know what kind of diet she had then.
I mean, I started out as a kind of chubby kid and increased through all of these behaviors. I am this size because I dieted for 20 years.
Well, dieting doesn't get you to that size.
It does, actually. So when you go through the cycle of weight gain and re-loss and gain and loss and gain and loss, you do wind up at this size. I
was bigger than you.
I would never be a thin
person. Sat here.
I would never be a thin person. I was not before my dieting behaviors began.
But you're not answering my question.
She's saying that you've
I'm
given
saying
up.
that it's not about giving up is the thing. Like, I gave up dieting because it was a loser game for me. It made me fatter. It made me incredibly unhealthy. It made me full of self-loathing. I have permanently screwed up my metabolism because I dieted from the age 7 to the age 20.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, she got shut down pretty quickly.
Hear every view under the sun.
Because I think we're both feminists.
I never considered myself a feminist. Whether it be a lawyer or a judge, I never belonged to a woman's organization. I wasn't a woman lawyer. I was a lawyer who happened to be a woman. And I wasn't a woman judge. I was a judge who happened to be.
I don't know about you, but she seems pretty convinced about her decision.
I'm really shocked at the tone of this debate and how we're talking about immigrants as if somehow they're not real people. The people who came over after the war, my family were part of that wave of people. I'm proud to be British and part of the European community, part of, a giant society of people trying to work to make each other's countries better. I think, we seem to have forgotten that Britain is also supposed, I hope, to be a compassionate nation, a humane nation. That is the Britain I'm proud of, and I want that country back.
Just let's have your questions, see whether you strike a chord with everybody here.
We knew what we voted for in leaving the EU. Why are Remainers making out constantly that we are uneducated people that didn't understand Brexit and what we were doing?
Getting owned on national television is never fun.
For Jessica, isn't this supposed to be a platform the left loves? We're talking about bullying, we're talking about cyberbullying, we're talking about being an advocate for that. Melania Trump is coming out in something that's not partisan at all. This is just a human thing. But yet they attack her for what she's wearing. And again, where are the feminists? They never come out. They never come out when Sarah Huckabee Sanders is called the Butch
Feminists are
Queen.
everywhere. They're just not supporting Kellyanne Conway, who advocates for policies that hurt women. They're not thrilled at Hope Hicks.
Stop.
Why?
She does not.
We're not talking about Kellyanne Conway.
Really?
We're talking about Melania Trump.
You think that if you advocate for an agenda...
We're talking about cyberbullying. We're talking about Melania Trump advocating for an end to cyberbullying. But yet the left goes after her and they ridicule her. And I don't see the feminists coming out saying, hey, leave a woman alone, leave an empowered female alone. I don't see the feminists doing that, Jessica, I don't.
The journalists really need to come up with better questions.
You being at the height of your sport, maybe make $1 million at most per fight. Does that anger you, and what can we do to change that? If I got to a point where I had almost 50 fights, I would probably be making close to the same amount of money that Floyd does. But at this point, I have 11. So
You're about to hear probably one of the worst comparisons ever.
to me, it's almost like reverting back to the civil rights movement. Now we're telling fat folks that they have to buy an extra seat. Not too long ago, my grandparents had to sit on the back of a bus. It's almost like segregating folks based on the way they look.
I can't imagine. Did you really say that?
Calm down. Don't act like you're offended by KKK. You're so offended by me saying that your approach is so
acting like
tough.
a victim, though? That's what I like to know.
You first of all.
Well, I don't think we can let something about the KKK just sit there. I find that so incredibly offensive and offensive to the people who, at the hands of that despicable organization.
Just Judge Judy being logical as ever.
I agree with you. One of the reasons your show is so successful is people love seeing a woman in control. And boy, is that a timely sentiment now. And yet you said you never considered yourself a feminist.
Why is that? And do you get the same kind of pushback in saying that I do? Because I've said the same.
I get pushback. You have to listen to it. You're younger. I don't listen to it because I'm old. Because when I was growing up and going to school and being a lawyer and trying to become a judge and becoming a judge and then becoming a supervising judge, I didn't do it through any organization. And I think it takes away from your own self-worth if you say, I did it based on the work of a larger group.
I mean, everything she's saying is absolutely facts.
The thing is that I think that the HAES approach, the health at every size approach, has been documented to work. And it's been documented to work year after year.
What do you mean work? What do you mean work? Because a health at every size is a lie. If you starve yourself into damage, that's unhealthy. Or if you eat yourself into damage, that's not healthy.
You're making a lot of assumptions.
That's just not.
Here,
that's not true.
You're making
that's
a lot of
saying,
assumptions.
That's like saying that.
Weight
let's
being
say you were a smoker.
self-destructive.
Let's say you're a smoker and have black lungs, and you try to say that's healthy because you don't have cancer yet. We know that it is actually factual that obesity is dangerous and it's connected to cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's. We even know it's connected to an increase in birth defects. So there's nothing left to debate.
Mimi?
It's not beautiful. It's not healthy.
I think you need to...
She definitely didn't see this one coming.
Just another quick one about Angela's question on equality just before. We've got quite a large pay dispute happening with our Australian women's soccer team at the moment. Is it frustrating for you as someone who's so prominent in your sport? And we heard you say on the Ellen show the other day you are the richest fighter in UFC, that sort of thing is still going on?
I think that how much you get paid should have something to do with how much money you bring in. I'm the highest paid fighter, not because Dana and Lorenzo wanted to do something nice to the ladies. They do it because I bring in the highest numbers. They do it because I make them the most money. And I think that the money that they make should be proportionate to the money that...
Remember what Justin Timberlake's song said? What goes around, comes around.
Prevailing things that are happening here is that what I'm hearing is this intense sort of discussion around self-hatred and when you're in a bigger body. And I wanted to ask people, like down the front there, you who's 20, is your life better? Are you happier? Is everything better now that you're slightly smaller than you were before? I mean, I think one of the things
let's get an answer to the question. Are you?
Absolutely. And I'm not a little bit smaller, I'm a lot smaller. And I did do research into everything. I can still have kids, and that may not have happened if I had stayed the size I was. Like, my question to you is, can you honestly say that you are 100% happy and healthy? Like, you have no medical conditions whatsoever, you have no problems at all with your health at your weight as compared to...
Can we have an answer? No. The question's been asked. What's the answer?
I think it's really interesting that I feel like I need to justify my existence in this realm.
No, but hang on a minute. You asked her to justify her decision.
So she completely embarrassed herself.
Really call it a culture. For example, we've got some people who speak Spanish in Canada, but we don't live in a Spanish culture. So some rapes happen, but we don't live in a rape culture. We don't live in a culture that supports rapists.
Like, of course we live in a rape culture. Like, of course we do. This is a rape culture. What we live in today is a rape culture. And that's what needs to stop.
And what does the media and our politicians do to help rapists?
More lenient sentences, a slap on the wrist, which happens all the time.
Okay, give me some examples of that.
You know, I'm not here to give you specific examples, Lauren, but I know that you know, and I know from experience from watching you that you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I don't need to go into details because I don't have any specific.
I just started to think that Ronda Rousey is getting tired about being questioned about this.
So many ridiculous arguments that MMA is somehow anti-woman and fighting's not a man's thing, it's a human thing. I'm the biggest draw in the sport and I'm a woman. How is that anti-woman?
That's all for today's video, everyone. Once again, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Goodbye for now, everyone. We'll see you in the next video.